good, everyone? Doing some street photography, downtown Tucson. Yes, it's overcast, but it's almost 100 degrees out. It doesn't really feel that way until you're sitting out here for a little bit. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit more tolerable than 100 degrees when the sun is shining, but either way. Today we're just shooting with the iPhone 11, keeping it simple. I was originally going to finish up a roll of film that I just recently started, but it's super overcast, and I definitely wanted a proper amount of light in order to get this film exposed properly. It is expired film, but it should be a lot of fun. Typically, I just shoot my Fuji XF10, which is a really portable camera, but in a pinch, iPhone 11 works perfectly. I knew that it was going to be a really overcast day, so the colors weren't going to be great. I've also been trying to find a spot where the wind isn't going to interrupt my audio. But this is my typical routine. Again, yes, it's warm. You can probably tell I'm a little flush, but once your body gets used to it, it's worth coming out. Now, on your average Tucson day, you're going to have a lot of bright sunlight, so high contrast, perfect for street photography. In that situation, I would use my Fuji XF10, or I would have used my film camera. That would have gave me a lot of high contrast, dynamic range. On an overcast day like this, I'm going to flatten out the images and I'm going to give it a dreamy look just to kind of blur out the details a little bit. Definitely going to keep it minimal and just kind of have fun with it. This is my daily routine and it's really brightened my days. A lot of the work that I'm getting on my daily photo shoots wind up in photo galleries, and it's definitely going to go towards the collection that I'm making into a book by the end of the year. So, moral of the story, get out there, do your work, because you never know what you're going to get. And having this daily practice really just enhanced my eye as a photographer. It sharpened my skills as a videographer, and yeah, I can't imagine doing anything else at this point. The type of street photography I typically like to do is a fishing style, where you set up the frame and you wait for someone to enter the frame. Now, traditional street photography obviously calls for a person to be in the photograph. That's pretty typical. But if you're shy about approaching people, street portraiture is definitely a popular way that people are getting street photos now. But the fishing technique is fantastic. And on a high contrast, really bright evening around 5 o'clock, the sun will come beaming through downtown Tucson. I can set up my frame, and I typically set up my frame where there's high foot traffic. So on a day like today where I know I'm not going to get a lot of really classic street photography images, I just kind of watch the street and time everything. There's a few waves downtown leaving work around 4:30, then at around 5, 5:05, 5:15. Now again, this isn't typically going to apply to every city, but it applies to mine pretty well. And those are the kind of mental notes that I make to myself. So regardless of the time of year, I know when people are bouncing out of their office job, and it's a perfect time to set up someone for a fishing street photo. Another great advantage of shooting with your iPhone is that if you need video footage, a hack that I typically use, and it's pretty common sense once you think of it, is that you can do a screen recording of you taking photos. So there's your video. You can do voiceover if you want, or intersplice, talking head stuff like this. At the end of this video, I'm going to link a new video that I just posted a few weeks ago about getting cinematic photos with a simple iPhone, especially at night. The sunsets here are really spectacular. It's really hard to miss, but there's a few techniques, helpful hints that I left on there. It'd be really helpful for a beginner. Oh, and if you're a skateboarder like me, I'm currently walking down a set of stairs that are very famous in the skate industry. Andrew Reynolds completely destroyed this spot, as did a lot of other pro skaters. Maybe I'll throw a link in the description.